Right, I've got my cup of tea, got my thinking cap on. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and today it's time to wonder, what shall we make today? So let's have a look and see. Right, so I've got a few things out here in front of me. I've got a little pile of stamping blends. I've got my Good Morning Magnolia stamp set with this beautiful big image and some smaller leaves and buds and this lovely little flourish and some really nice sentiments in there, some really nice fonts. Love this big hello and thanks just here. So some nice things just there. I've got a very vanilla card base, so a standard size card base. I've cut a mat of petal pink cardstock, and I've got another mat of very vanilla cardstock. So what shall we do with these? So I'm going to start off by, let's just pop these stamp sets to one side until we need them, and those card bases. I have got my piece of very vanilla cardstock here, and I've got that very big, and it is a really big, you can see the size of my hand, this is our biggest block and it fills that block. It's a really substantial stamp, a real statement piece. I'm going to ink it up with some Memento because obviously I have my stamping blends on hand to colour it in. So I need my Memento ink to stamp it with. So I'm going to wiggle that about a bit so I can get as much of that stamp as I can onto that piece of cardstock. So I think possibly there. And obviously, sorry if I'm wiggling you a bit, but this is a big stamp. So we'll press it all over. And there we have a beautiful stamped image. It is just beautiful, this stamp. It's one of those sort of stamps that if you don't want to, you don't need to do very much at all. You can just stamp it and go almost. But we're going to stamp it and colour it in. So where shall we start? I think we'll start in the middle of this magnolia, and we'll put a bit of, this is dark So Saffron. Let's have a bit of light So Saffron coming out from the centre of that. And I think we'll come in with some dark Calypso Coral. I'm just going to have some of that just flicking up from this centre of this flower. And then we'll take our light Calypso Coral and bring that out. Blend that out just a little bit further. And that centre. And let's grab our dark Petal Pink. And I'm just going to bring that out a bit more from that centre. Let's blend that out from that Calypso Coral. We'll bring some of this round here. And we'll have this coming out from these sort of shady bits of these petals. And as always with these things, we can take our hint from the artist, where they've put a bit of cross-hatching and a bit of shading. It's a good place for us to add in some. Just going to come round this edge just here, Just touch the tips a bit. I'm going to bring in the light petal pink, and again we'll blend that out, but I'm not going to go all the way to the end of this flower. I am going to leave some areas of, it's not white, it's very vanilla. Just going to sort of blend that in around those edges. And as I say, just leave some of that very vanilla that's come on in out the middle, and then blend that all out using this paler petal pink. To blend that all out, I think I'm going to pretty well leave that. I might come back and add in a little bit more, we'll see, but for now I'm going to leave that. Now I've picked up a mossy meadow for the leaves, so I've gone quite dark. Quite like the idea of the sort of the pastels of the flower and the dark contrast of the leaves. So again, this is the dark one. I'm coming in where those shading is around this edge. Come in with the light mossy meadow. Sorry, knocking you. And we'll come all over the top and blend that out. As always, when you're using the stamping blends, you want to make sure you're resting on a surface that it's okay if your pens bleed through. Don't do it on your best oak dining table, or at least not without putting a mat between the dining table and the image you're colouring. Because as you can see, it all seeps through, which is what it's supposed to do. There's one leaf. Let's have another one coming down here. In fact, I think we might get away. You don't want to do too big an area because you don't want the pens to completely dry out before you go in with the other one, so they won't blend quite so well as you'd like them to. So it really does depend on temperatures and wherever it is that you're working. But although we're summertime, we're now into the evening, so it's a bit cooler. Of course, the alcohol in the pens evaporates off fairly quickly, dries fairly quickly, much quicker than water would. Let's blend that out. Make a quick slurp of the tea before going on to the next leaf. And again, let's bring in those veins and that shading around the edge. Let's carry on and do this last little leaf just here. Come in with the light one, blend that out. Don't be afraid to work over those joins, blend those colours together. There we go. Now, there was one pair of colours I missed picking up. Let's grab some soft suede. So apologies for knocking you. Come with the dark soft suede. You might notice that I label all my pens. And it's quite difficult sometimes to read the names on the side of the pen. So this is my light Calypso Coal. I've not yet put a label on that one. So you've got that sort of little mark, this little label just there that tells you what colour it is. So I tend to put a much bigger label on it. It's getting old, you see. I'll just put some soft suede on there for that branch coming off. So there we have our beautiful magnolia coloured onto our very vanilla. Then what I thought we would do, because that's what you do, isn't it? You create something beautiful and then you chop it up. So we're going to chop it up. So here I have on my magnetic sheet the 6 largest layering ovals. So they're sort of, you know, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. So they're in 2 different piles. This pile here, I'm going to cut out of the centre of my petal pink mat just here, and I'm going to use my magnetic platform. So let's bring in my magnetic platform, and I'm just going to cut these out of the centre. Now this is going to be the mat underneath my flower, so don't have to worry too much, but we want them to be, let's see how that magnet is going to play up. We want them to be fairly evenly spaced. And there's a magnet there that's jumping. So I think that's fairly evenly spaced just there. So let's put our top plate on, create our sandwich, and we'll just run that through the machine. And we'll take that off, that's our mat. Let's put these back on here. We have 3 petal pink ovals. Right, I'm going to do exactly the same with this, with the other set of ovals. Let's make sure I've got the right set. 2. Looking to place this, I really want to be fairly central on that main big blossom just there. Let's move that up a bit so you can see. Number 2, and then number 3. So again, we're going to run that through the die cutting machine. Plonk, crack, and we'll take these out. And again, I've got 3 ovals and that back panel piece Let's just move these back out of the way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reassemble these. So we're going to have a layer of petal pink, and then we're going to bring in this magnolia, then a second layer of petal pink. Obviously I'm only laying these down at the moment, I haven't stuck them down yet, and sort of ensuring that when we stick it, we should ensure that we line those up. We'll have our third layer, and then we'll put this one on the top, again ensuring that we're laying it up. So what we get is this sort of triple stamping effect. So normally you'd have an oval triple stamping effect. Normally what you would do is sort of layer 3 bits of card and then stamp over the top of all of them, and then just use the layers in between to sort of hide the fact that this hasn't quite stamped properly right up to the edges of the layers. But by doing this, by actually die cutting them, building them up that way, you can do all sorts of different shapes. So as I say, we've got an oval just there. So I think we will go ahead and stick those layers together. I'm not yet going to stick that layer to that card because I think we might perhaps put some ribbon on there. But let's start by sticking this mat to here. And then we'll take our petal pink oval, and we'll just run some glue around our oval before popping that in place. Nice thing about having wet glue is if we do need to give it a bit of a wiggle, we do have a bit of wiggle time. So let's now pop this on. Now this is where we need to start sort of eyeballing that picture on the back and lining that up so that we're maintaining the pattern. About like that, I think, although it should hopefully perhaps come up a little bit further. Let's just take it up this way a bit more. Wiggle, wiggle. Like that. Then our next layer, so again little wiggle of glue around there. We'll bring that layer in, and our next layer. About like that. And next layer, actually I think I've just done that upside down, but never mind. And then our final layer in the middle, which is a solid piece. About like that. Okay, let's have a little look and see what we have in the way of ribbons. I actually don't have any of the nice petal pink. No, I think that one is a bit too strong. Just tie a bow with this and see. Twistle that round a little bit. Now, do we want that coming around there with a bit of bow? Yeah, let's do that. Let's snip this off. This is where we do the sort of little bit of this and a little bit of that. I wish I'd got some of the petal pink striped ribbon. That's a really nice soft ribbon. But we'll go with that. So this is a nice very vanilla ribbon. Let's bring in some tape. And we'll just bring that round the back and stick on some tape. Interesting on the back there, look, with our colouring showing through. So this sort of open weave on this ribbon gives quite a nice effect. Let's add in that bow that we've tied there, or we will do as soon as we find our glue dots. Put a couple of glue dots on the back of that just to attach it in place. And I'll bring in my card base and we'll put some Tombow on the back of here, and we'll add some sort of little spots of glue in there just to attach that down as well. Ooh, obviously got glue on the on my mat just there. So let's have a little look. Need to have a bit of a clear up over here. I seem to have things sliding, which is never a good sign. I'm just going to have a little look and see if I have any of the champagne rhinestones left. I know that they were getting a little bit on the low side, but I did think there might perhaps be one or two left, but it doesn't look very hopeful, does it? But what I have got in here is some of the elegant faceted gems from the Peony collection, and some of those are petal pink, so they will be beautiful. Got a bit of glitter and sparkle to them. So let's just add in some of these. And we could really do, I will put another one on there in a minute. Just wondering if we want a greeting on there. Quite like the hello, and I'm thinking I'll grab the mossy meadow. Should have really stamped that on before I got this far, but let's have a hello in that top corner, and then we'll add on one more of our little gems, and we'll put that one up there. So there we have a Good Morning Magnolia stamping blend coloured triple stamping, oval triple stamping card. So just a little bit different. Hope you enjoyed that, and we will be back another day with another What Shall We Make Today video.